All right, guys, let's talk about scaling the deadlift for injuries. So we have Pete here. Pete is a member here at CrossFit Rife. Pete had a little bit of a hamstring tweak maybe like a couple weeks ago.
2-3 weeks, yeah.
Okay, so I've got two pieces of equipment here, and this is where what we call like specialty types of equipment can become really handy. So I've got a hex bar here, and I've got a traditional deadlift. So as we were going through the warm-up, Pete was telling me he had a little bit of tightness or twinge in his hamstring. So let's just talk about the setup for the deadlift first. So if Pete gets in his normal deadlift setup, so he's got his shoulder slightly over the bar here, and then his hips somewhere between the shoulder and the knee in that position. And this position was starting to bother him at the hamstring. So go ahead and relax out of that. This is where the hex bar can come in handy, because the hex bar, because the handles are off to the side, you're gonna be in a little bit more upright, or what would essentially be a squattier position in the setup. So if he sets up now in that position, notice that the torso angle here is far more extreme as far as the upward angle there, and this feels better because now it resembles a lot more like a squat than it does a deadlift. So just go ahead and do another rep here, Pete. Good, and then back down, good. So essentially what this allows us to do is get into a squattier position without having to have the bar navigate the knees on the way up by using a traditional barbell. Again, we don't use the hex bar a ton. It does have tremendous carryover for sprinters and jumpers because of the direct translation of force moving up towards the floor. But for injured athletes, it can be a really, really nice substitute as well. So this would be Pete's normal setup in the deadlift, and you see that angle right there, and then transition, we're gonna go back to the hex bar. And on this setup, his shoulders are gonna be much more upright. So this angle is way different, but now I don't have to worry about navigating the knees in that position. And at the end of the day, go ahead and relax. At the end of the day, Pete and I had a conversation, and what I want to know from Pete is this better, same, or worse? Does this feel better than using the traditional barbell in order to get him into a better position where we can still do the pulling from the floor, because that was the movement for today, was a deadlift. But if that's bothering him, and I necessarily can't fix that by having him pull from blocks or raise the floor up to him, the hex bar can be a really, really nice transition. So this is where it can be very valuable to have some of that kind of like specialty or novelty type equipment in the box. So if you have questions, go ahead and hit us up. We're happy to answer those, but hope this helps you guys.